What is your idea of the ideal beauty standard for yourself? That maybe has been put onto you by society, your parents, whatever. I imagine it might be something like maybe having a fit body, maybe having a certain eye color or type, a body type, etc., etc. But it's probably a version of a body, a face, and whatever that's not who you currently are. And that's the reason why you don't feel beautiful right now, why you don't feel fit right now, why you maybe feel fat, ugly, whatever it is. That's what we need to change in order to manifest the changes that you want. The first thing that we're gonna do is that beauty standard that you have, we're gonna get rid of it. You're not gonna call, and I'm not saying that it's wrong and it's not beautiful if you look that way that you always idealize to look like, but that's not the only way or the only thing that you can call beautiful, fit, pretty, handsome, whatever it is. The list of things that make you you, let's say you have bigger thighs, maybe you have a big nose, maybe you have weird ears, maybe you have a double chin like I used, because I got rid of my double chin with this method and a few other things I'm gonna talk about in a second. What we're gonna start doing in order to be able to change these things is start seeing yourself as the icon of beauty, as like all the things that you have, your eye color, your hairstyle, whatever it is, those are your standards of beauty now. The other thing, you can accept that as beauty as well, but you have to accept different characteristics as beautiful, if that makes sense. Like that standard is okay to be beautiful, but what you look like right now is exactly as good, okay? Why am I saying that? Because as you know, in law of attraction, you have certain thoughts about yourself or the world, and you see the world through those thoughts. Not one person sees the same as the other one. Like maybe I see you and I find you the most beautiful woman or man on earth, and I'm like, oh my god, I wish I had your nose. And maybe you see yourself and you're like, what are you saying? I hate my nose, you know? So you've probably had people tell you that there's things about you that you hate that they actually love or they would love to have, okay? No two people see the same thing in this world. We don't even see the same color shades, mostly. Like, and no two humans usually see the same color shade, so everything is a matter of perspective. You're seeing yourself from a very negative perspective, and in order to be able to change you need to see yourself from a positive perspective first before you're able to change that and become the version that you want. So to change how you view yourself, you need to start with your thoughts. What are the thoughts you have about you? Do you usually think like, my nose is too big, my ears are too small, my boobs are too small, this and this and that? Make a list of all of those. Because all of those thoughts that you have create a feeling. And that feeling leads to you taking action on that. So for example, let's say like you call yourself ugly every day. You probably will feel really lousy about yourself because you're calling yourself ugly every day. So you're probably feeling more down, you have less energy, maybe you don't have energy to go to the gym, maybe you don't have the energy to kind of like have a skincare routine or something like that. Here's an example on how, like for example, I manifested my double chin to disappear through this. And it's that I used to tell myself that I was ugly because I had a double chin, because on every picture I used to like, I mean, it was somewhere like this, but like most of the time and even though I was like super thin, like the rest of my body, there was this time in my life where I was like super thin and my double chin was there and like my belly fat was also there. And it's like, it makes no sense that I'm like, I look anorexic, but I wasn't, but I wasn't anorexic. I was just like under a lot of stress at home and I just ate a lot, but I never gained weight. But then my belly and my double chin were just like very prominent, and I was like, I don't understand this. And my mom used to tell me that it was genetics because my grandpa had a big double chin, my dad had it, and that it was a genetic thing, that it had nothing to do with fat, but I hated it anyway. So I told myself that I wasn't as pretty as other girls, or I couldn't be a model, or all of these things because I had a double chin. So the day that I decided that I was like, okay, you know what, I'm actually pretty. I'm gonna change my thought process to be like, I am actually pretty, even if I have a double chin, and I'm gonna accept my double chin. So what happens when you change your perspective in that way? I'm gonna use this example because I feel like personal examples are more powerful. So the moment I assumed that my double chin actually made me pretty, I started feeling better about myself. I started feeling like I deserved to take self-care, because when I thought I was ugly, I did no self-care. I did not put like any creams on my face or have like a morning routine or things like that for my skin, because I was like, I don't deserve this because I'm ugly. So like, why would I even try to be pretty or put makeup on? Because like, nothing is gonna go make this away. Even though sometimes I even thought like putting makeup on made it even more prominent, and I tried everything and nothing made it, and there was no way I could hide it. Like the more I tried to hide my double chin, the more it kind of like show. And the actions that I took towards me is like constantly like making jokes about it, making self-deprecating jokes about it, not taking pictures of myself because I hated how it looked. And all of these things that made me become even more self-conscious, even hate me more, and kind of like go into this loop. But then the moment I decided to change it with this method, I started to change my thoughts around this. And I was like, okay, you're actually pretty. Like you may have a double chin, but it's something that's like from your family. It's pretty. It's like when people have a dimple that their dad also has, or big ears, or a specific nose or something. but this makes you you, and there's nothing wrong with it. So when I started to think of myself as pretty and beautiful and everything, I started to feel better about myself. I started to feel like, you know what, I'm actually worthy, I deserve love, blah blah blah. And when I started to feel that way with myself, I started to also act on that, which means I took a moment of my day every day to have a morning routine. I started to like apply to modeling agencies, and I took all these actions that showed that I deserved these things, that I was worthy of these things. And the cool thing about that is that the moment you start taking action about these things, it kind of like also it also goes back to like you also feeling better and you're also thinking better, because these three things, even though they're like one leads to the other, all of them kind of like are interlaced, if that makes sense. And the funny thing is also that the moment I started doing that, I realized something else. Usually this thing about you that you hate so much right now is telling you something. Let's say that it's a big nose, a double chin, whatever it is, or extra weight or not enough weight. Usually it's your body trying to tell you something. Usually it's your body trying to tell you you are not being yourself in certain situations. You are not comfortable showing yourself, because acne is a way that kind of like covers your skin. So it's kind of a way of hiding. A double chin makes you kind of like maybe not go out as much because you don't feel worthy with your double chin. Having extra weight also makes people insecure and be like, oh, I don't really want to go out that much. All these things that you usually don't like about yourself are protecting you in some way. And that's something that you need to realize. You're giving so much hate to like a double chin, acne, extra weight or whatever. And those things are usually emotional armors. Acne is kind of protecting your face, extra weight is protecting your body, double chin is protecting your throat. So there's a lot of things around different areas that your body is trying to protect because it doesn't feel safe enough to express them, show them, whatever. And here's what's interesting about it. I used to have a lot of acne and I did like all the possible treatments that you can think of. I even took some pills that I have no idea what they're called in English, but they're so strong that you can even drink alcohol while you're doing the treatment. Maybe some of you have taken those and they're freaking expensive. Cleaning lotions, whatever, all the brands, like the most expensive ones, nothing did anything on my skin. And my doctor was like, I don't understand why nothing is having a result. There was this one time I looked like emotional meaning of acne on the skin because I started getting into like the whole spiritual thing. And the thing that I read was like, you are not comfortable showing yourself, showing your face. You feel guilty for being pretty. You feel guilty for like being the prettiest of your friends. And I know this sounds kind of narcissistic, I know, but I'm actually the prettiest of my friends. Or at least, I mean, you have to believe that you're the prettiest of everyone because it's you. You know, like you're the one who needs to believe that. And you kind of like, you need a little bit of narcissism. I think that's not like an unhealthy thing. I don't think that's an unhealthy thing. I felt bad that I was prettier than other people. I felt guilty for was like the center of attention sometimes, and I was not comfortable being the center of attention, even though a part of me really wanted that and wanted to be like in the spotlight because that's something I've always wanted. But since I wasn't comfortable and I wasn't taking action to do that thing that I really wanted, my body was protecting me. My body was energetically putting this thing on me. And the funny thing is, the moment I started changing my thoughts and my feelings and then consequently my actions and started to be more myself, express myself, just be in the spotlight more because that's what I actually wanted to do, my acne went away. From like literally 1 month to the next, acne went fully away. I did nothing that month. I was actually not doing any treatments I hadn't been doing treatments for a long time. And then from one day to the next, it was just gone. And it was because I started expressing myself. It's like my double chin. The double chin, for example, is in the area of the throat chakra. What does it mean? This is like communication, expressing yourself, having a voice. I wanted to start a YouTube channel for like so long, or like starting social media for a long time, and I didn't do it because I was afraid of like people listening to me, people judging me, people rejecting me, people abandoning me, yada yada. And I was also kind of like not starting the YouTube channel because I had a double chin and I didn't like it on camera, so I was like, I'm not gonna do this because it's gonna look ugly on camera, people are not gonna watch me. But then I started changing my thoughts on that. I was like, I am pretty. Even with my double chin, there's nothing wrong with her. She's just a part of me. I started to feel better about myself, and once I felt better about myself, I was able to take the action to actually start the YouTube channel or Instagram account or whatever it was. And the moment I started putting my voice out there and speaking up about things, my double chin disappeared. So these are the two things that you need to be aware of. First thing is changing your perspective and start seeing yourself as pretty so that you are actually investing in yourself. And the moment you start seeing yourself as a pretty human, you're gonna feel like, oh, I'm worthy of investing time in myself. Oh, I'm worthy of this, I'm worthy of that. And then you're gonna start doing things for yourself. When it comes to weight loss, it's kind of the same thing. Let's say that you don't feel fit because you have overweight, whatever. Your weight, first thing, your weight is trying to protect you from something, and it's because you don't feel safe in certain areas. So that's the emotional part that you need to work on, which is maybe setting boundaries, maybe stop people pleasing. It could be It could stem from a lot of different things, so that's something that you need to figure out. If you think that you're fat and then you feel bad, you're also not gonna make the right choices when it comes to food. You're gonna probably eat foods that make you even more depressed, and you will have less energy to do things. You will have less energy or motivation to go to the gym and take care of yourself. So the last thing is that you need to stop judging the actions that you're taking right now as them saying that you are one thing or the other, in the sense of like, I used to think that I wasn't fit if I didn't make it to the gym like 5 times a week. Because I saw people who did that, maybe people who've done that for years, and I was just starting out. I was like, oh no, this person is doing that. So I was like, if I'm doing this 2 times a week, like that's nothing. It's obviously I'm gonna be fat because like I should be working out way more. And that's not true. Right now I maybe work out like once a week, or sometimes 3 times a week, sometimes 2, sometimes I don't work out at all because I don't have time right now, or I maybe go on walks or like less stressful things. And I am in the best body shape I've actually ever been in. Why? Because I think of myself as a fit person, because I'm like, of course I'm a fit person. And thinking that I'm a fit person makes me probably eat less the days that I'm not working out, but I do that unconsciously. I don't choose like, I'm gonna eat these many macros or check what I'm eating or this or that. No, I don't even think of that anymore, because it's one of those things where I'm just like, I feel like a fit person, so I kind of like turned into one without doing anything. Like I used to be exercising like 7 days a week for the longest time, eating super healthy, counting all the calories and all of those toxic things that you should not be doing. And I would just like get more bloated, and I tested for allergies and all those things, like nothing was supposedly wrong, blah blah blah. And there was no freaking way that I could lose any weight. Like I would not lose a gram. I would sometimes even get fatter, and I was like, I don't understand what is wrong. 2 things that helped me with that, I mean, there's a video on like losing weight that kind of talks about this thing, but specifically on losing weight, where the 2 things, like first thing, why am I feeling so unsafe right now? Where can I create safety in my life? And that helped me on the first part to kind of like feel better about myself and lose the weight. And the second thing is think of myself as like a fit person, a thin person, which is what I wanted to be. I was like, what would a fit person do? And I was like, I would not be checking how many calories I'm eating. If one day I feel like eating more, and one day I feel like eating a salad, and one day I feel like eating McDonald's, I'm just gonna do that, because if a thin person would not think about that, because I would be thin. So I started to just like listen to my body, and my body guided me to what I needed to eat each day and when I felt like exercising. And I didn't really have a routine for a long time. Like I completely stopped exercising as much as I was and started exercising whenever my body told me to. And I dropped like 14 kilos in a matter of a month. Like all the weight that I had been trying to lose for like so long, it just went away in a matter of like a month, with me doing like nothing different, like me just like listening to myself, connecting with my feelings, processing emotion, processing trauma, and all of that. So I hope this video helped you. If it did, leave me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments like next videos that you want me to be making, or meditations, or whatever it is on these topics, and I'll see you guys next week.